Okay, so we're here in Blanco, Texas. William is practicing his maneuvers, showing us his skills in the slow moving type maneuvers. We're right outside of Blanco State Park, right across the street is the entrance. And we're gonna go down this other road that is new to us. It is the it's out of Blanco, Texas. It's called the 7th. Anyway, well, I'm all confused. The road I'm looking for is 7th Street, and it goes into Hyde, Texas. Back roads riding. I don't know what the hell William's doing. Okay, he just can't. He's got ants in his pants. He's got to get moving. So let's go. We're here at this church parking lot trying to come up with a game plan. So let's find this 7th Street. Looks like it might be an interesting road like the last road that we were on. Oh, the cowboys, young cowboys, high school kids looking for chicks. This is Blanco, Texas. Very nice little quaint town. There's a restaurant right there. It's pretty popular around here. Let's go over here. 7th Street. I don't see any markings because this is 5th Street. Sixth Street. Okay, this must be 7th Street. Okay. So this unassuming road here is going to open up to a little nice stretch of road. At least I believe so. Blanco is a very nice little town. I grew up in a little town like this. I kind of almost wish I would still live in one if I was married or settled down still, but not enough for a guy like me right now in my life. Out chasing the American dream. Nice little game going on. Guy stretching out, do his baseball. I never did really get involved in organized sports. I should have fixed my mirror when I was pulled over. I just don't fix that damn mirror. I'm thinking about getting some mirrors for this bike. Something in orange or white to accent the bike. And I mean, I like these mirrors, these KTM mirrors. But I just looking, I'm always thinking of things to buy and to add to my my bikes, to modify them and just get them the way I like it. I never like anything stock, you know. I want to personalize it, I guess. So me and William, when we go riding, look for these small country roads. It's 7th Street, but it turns into, I forget the name of it, I can't find it. It's Farm Road. Oh man, 1263, I think. And this goes into Hyde, Texas. In Hyde, Texas, there's a little general store there. Really nice back here, the hill country. Even though it is dry, we're going through a drought. Everything should be green right now, but it's not. And there's been some grass fires because of it. I'm really going too slow for 6th gear. I'm going to keep it in 5th. This 1290 does quite well on these small roads. It's agile enough to, it's not really an issue. Actually, my Victory Cross Country is, I don't have any problems going slow with it or in these small country roads. Now it's a little bit more to handle in like a parking lot turnaround type situation. It's harder than this bike, is, you know, it's longer, heavier, so it takes a little more effort. Yeah, right now everything should be green. I think the flowers should be coming out. That's a new fence coming up. The posters are up. They put some cedar posts. They got them all dug in. Just haven't hung the wire yet. I remember as a kid doing that at the ranch, making fence. That's one thing about Texas and why it's not a good off-road destination, is because everything we have is fenced in. Everybody owns everything. It's, you know, it's all managed by individuals. Very little public land, and if there's any, it's in West Texas, which is, you know, desert, mountainous type landscape. I think you have BLM land out there, but that's why most of these van lifers and RVers, they go out to Arizona and New Mexico because there's places to stay out there, you know, rent free or, you know, off the land per se. Yeah, this is my first time on this back road. This is going to be a nice road. With the typical Texas hill country views, even though it is brown, dry, drought season, fire hazard. As a matter of fact, right now near Medina, Texas, there is a grass fire right now, and that's yesterday it was like 400 acres had been burned. It started by a car fire that turned into a large grass fire, and it just kept burning. We're not really set up for this kind of firefighting like in California, where they're used to having huge grass fires with these airplanes that dump water and all that stuff. We're just not set up for that here because it's just not a real issue for us until years like this where it's really dry. You know, if that country store is open, I think I'm going to stop there and get something to eat and record it. Look at Texas Longhorn. That's a little calf. He's got some Texas Longhorns right here. Pretty common to the area. I think they're originally from India. I think that's where the Texas Longhorns came. They're brought down here because they can handle the heat and the dryness, and they're very adapted to that environment. They're not the biggest cows, but they can handle this harsher conditions, from what I understand. See that little squirrel just standing there in the middle of the road? I love my Texas. I travel all over, you know, you've seen some videos maybe where I've gone places and stuff, but there's nothing like Texas. I guess because it's my home. Although we are experiencing tremendous growth in San Antonio with a lot of Californians and other states that are coming down here because of our robust, freer type government. We're not over-regulated and stuff, and that's good for business. And people escaping California's regulated liberal ways that they just don't work. It just doesn't work. And they're coming over here in droves, selling their $1 million homes they got all this cash, and they come down here and for $300,000 they have a nicer home than they had in ever could afford in California, and plenty of money to spare. I've seen that over and over again, and I just hope they don't bring their politics to Texas. Any updates on the 1290? No, not really. Oh, I put these little spongy things on them, but I had to cut them in half and then slip them over, but with a wire tie here because they're showing some wear, and also to make it a little bit more comfortable. That's about it. You know, I think of replacing my 1290, but you know, I can't think of anything that I really want more than the 1290, because it is just like the Ducati Multistrada. The 1290 is a versatile machine. It can do touring. It has a large, I think almost 8-gallon tank. It's relatively comfortable. Cruise control, 160 horsepower. This thing is a sport bike, a sports tour bike. It is a off-road capable bike. It just fits all the bills, you know. The only thing that you get something different from this bike is if you wanted just something different, if you wanted just a pure sport bike, or you wanted a V-twin, you wanted the Harley, you know, type bikes, but these things are awesome, and I haven't had any trouble with it. I mean, it's just been a great bike. When I first bought it, I was kind of worried about it because it's such a complicated bike. Oh look, we turn into dirt. Well look, see, here's a perfect example. I don't worry about the dirt at all. because I know I got good enough tires on it for it, and the suspension is made for this kind of stuff. Now I know William's probably freaking out. He gets very uncomfortable in the dirt, but this is a very well maintained drivable road, so it's not like we're gonna be, you know, having to do hill climbing, going through mud and all that stuff like that. It's dry, and the road is leveled very well. Not much to it. This is unexpected. You know, if I go by memory, I think I've already been on this road long time ago, but it was on this bike, or the V-Strom. No, it was this bike. It was this bike. Now I gotta be careful on these turns because I don't have knobbies. These are Cinco 705s. It is 70% road and 30% off, so it's not, you know, and to be honest, this is very hard packed dirt here. This is not loose. I mean, there's a lot of loose little gravel. Cattle guard crossing. But look, this is a perfect example of how versatile this bike is. You know what? I don't see William anymore. He must have really slowed down, or did he just... No, he's coming. He's just taking his time. Like I said, he doesn't have a lot of experience in dirt, and neither do I that much, really. Especially on a big bike like this. Most of the dirt of the riding I've done on dirt has been with a KLR 650. That was a much better bike for this kind of environment. A lot smaller. You know. So I wasn't expecting to be on dirt today. I just assumed this road was paved all the way, but I like it. I like to give myself a little bit more experience on dirt, and William too. Another cattle guard. I grew up on dirt roads like this. I learned how to drive on dirt roads like this. And you know, it was a truck or a car, but it wasn't a motorcycle, but I'm very comfortable, and this feels very much like home to me. This is what I'm used to. I miss kind of my childhood, and the people that were in my childhood or have passed on, and you know, it's getting to a point where you know more people in the grave than you do on walking the earth. I miss my parents. I miss my uncles, my cousins, my family that have passed. I guess we all have to adjust. But roads like this remind me of my roots, of where my family came from. They grew up in dirt roads. They didn't have paved roads, and my mom was even telling me one time that they didn't even have shoes. That they had their bottom of their feet were calloused, and that whenever they would come in the house, they would just roll their feet and knock the stickers off before they came in the house. Kids were barefooted until a certain age in the 20s, you know. My mom grew up like that. Pretty much horse and buggy. There was some cars here and there. I'm understanding my grandfather was one of the first to have a car in Karnes County. And he, I think he provided a taxi service between Kennedy and San Antonio. People had to go for medical reasons, so people would pay him money and he would drive you up there and drive you back. You know, all this kind of stuff I didn't know. There is a remnants of a windmill. You don't see too many of those because of electricity. There's electric pumps now to pump well waters and whatnot, but we had windmills on the ranch. Story goes, and I think there's a picture of it. My grandfather attached a Model T generator onto a windmill and had a bank of batteries, tractor batteries, or I guess there were 6 volts. I imagine, because the Model T was a 6 volt, I remember. And he would have lights and run the radio, and I guess just that was their source of electricity before they ran power out there. I don't know when the power made it out to the ranch, maybe in the 40s. Well, that deer blind has seen better days. Kids out here playing remind me growing up, playing outside, always playing outside. My kids are always inside. Just a whole different world. There's a race car back there. I wish the flowers were out. We need some rain. Green out. Texas is known for the springtime and its flowers on the side of the road and everywhere. They just splashes of color everywhere. My understanding, Lyndon B. Johnson's wife, Lady Bird, as some of y'all might know her, have heard of that name. She did a beautification of Texas while her husband was the president, and or maybe governor or something. Anyway, she was spreading wildflower seeds, or had people spread wildflower seeds. And we still have some today. If I'm incorrect, well, I'm just incorrect. That's the story I said, and I'm sticking to it. KTM is a sport bike. It is a great handling machine, good brakes, suspension, off-road capability. I gotta watch my speed around here because there's a lot of blind corners and other people on the road. That's 160 horsepower screaming there at you. on these little small roads. Probably a little dangerous to be speeding back here. There's deer, there's cows, there's traffic. Although we haven't seen so much of it today, huh? It's a Sunday, so a lot of people stay home on Sundays, barbecue and do whatever they do on Sundays. Sundays are like traditional days where people do whatever their traditions are. Look at that tiny house. I myself wanted to do that. I think we're coming to the end here. We're fixing to get into Hyde. Let me see if I can walk into that general store and get me a pop or something. I don't know. Oh, where are we? Let's see, I think I got to turn here. Okay. Well, either way, it wouldn't matter, I guess. And just like that, you're at 100. "22 miles to Fredericksburg." I don't know if we're going to go into Fredericksburg. My plan is to end the video at the general store, go inside and buy some gum or something like that, and take a walk around. I've always wanted to go inside that building. I haven't yet. Sorry for the wind noise. I still haven't have a professional type setup where they'll cut a lot of this wind noise out. It should be right here, that general store. So, oh, yeah, because we're coming into the town of Hyde. Let me see if it's open. High Mellow Winery. There's a lot of wineries around here. Let's see. I don't see no cars there, but there's a historical marker. It doesn't look open to me. No, it's not open. No, it's not. Oh well, that's the building right there. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.